Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. It's Quarantine Concert Series. I'm your host, Kabir Segal. Great to be back. Show number 76. 76, which is a C. Yeah, it's like a C. We're going to be a C plus pretty soon. We're going to try to drive all the way to 100. That's the goal. We're going to go 100 to 100 shows, and then we're going to go fishing. So I want to thank everyone for joining us on this incredible trip. Let's take a look at the shot. On the 100th show, this is going to be us. We're going to grab our fishing rod. That's me with the fishing rod. That's Camilo piloting the ship and monitoring the situation. And then that is Sandra and Oreo. And where are we going? We're going in the direction of Maui. Maui is obviously the name of one of the dogs. So we have the two dogs. We're going to be going fishing, retiring after 100 shows. Get my hat on, get my fishing line out. All right. Thanks for putting up with us for all these nights. So what are we doing by now? All the gigs have been canceled, many of which until 2021. So we've started this concert series to put the spotlight back on artists, back on people who deserve it, back on people who have their share with us their vitality and virtuosity and love and energy. So we thought, let's try to get some gigs back here. And one of the things that I just want to make a point here, we love the artists. There's a lot of people in this creative space that are affected by it. The engineers, the managers, the promoters, the bookers. There's the whole ecosystem of the creative community that's affected by the cancellations in this space. Now, I'm down here in Atlanta, my parents' house, and Georgia's kind of opening up, but not that many people are going to live music. And Carnegie Hall has canceled gigs into 2021. It seems like big events are going to be the last thing to come back, right? And so I think we're kind of operating in this environment for a while. So I wrote this op-ed for Market Watch recently called Be a Patron of the Arts to get the U.S. economy back in tune. And if you want to check out that article, I kind of give some concrete ways you can help artists. It's important to be patrons. There's always been a link between patrons and artists. And you can host a show like this. You can buy the music, you can buy the merchandise. You can also, there's a website called Patreon. You can go support an artist and fund them, their CDs, their music, whatever it is, and create that link. If you love an artist, reach out to them. Try to be a patron, right? You can also, of course, just donate to arts-related charities that are dealing with the pandemic. So important to be a patron in this day and age. All right, so moving on, I do want to thank the folks at All About Jazz, the simulcast. A lot of these concerts, they started in 1995. If you're an artist, go make an artist page. If you're a patron, go make a donation to All About Jazz. Some of the, we're kind of genre agnostic on the show. My background tends to be in jazz, blues, world music. So we do welcome all genres on the show. We have not done heavy metal. So if there are any heavy metal bands, come check us out. But we do like to, I know this is all about jazz, but we love all music types on this broadcast. We've also started a quarantine film series where we do these in the morning. These are conversations with filmmakers who've had their films accepted into top festivals like Tribeca Film Festival, South by Southwest. This one was with TT the Artist. She's a filmmaker, musician turned filmmaker. She made a movie called Dark City Beneath the Beat about the Baltimore club music scene. It was accepted in South by Southwest. And we do these conversations around 10:30 or 11 a.m. Eastern in the mornings during the week. So if you want to know what's coming to your HBO and Netflix and streaming services, your Hulus, these are the people making those projects and films that will be on your networks in the days and months ahead. One more thing, we do a word of the day, a music word of the day. We're trying to increase the music literacy. Why not, right? So there will be a pop quiz at the end of this broadcast. If you can tell me what the word of the day is in the comment field, you will get a prize. And what is the prize? A prize is a puppy handing you a trophy. You know you want that prize. Okay, so we have a three-time defending champion, Claudia Miranda. I'm looking at you. Can you defend your crown? My mom told me not to point, sorry. So I'll do my puppy. Can you defend your crown, Claudia Miranda? We'll see. What is the word of the day? Manico. Pretty simple. Manico. I chose this because our artist today, her name begins with an M-A. So that'll help you remember the word of the day, manico. It's the Italian term for neck. And if you're watching on Instagram, the only part of the artist that you can see right now is her neck. See? Can't really see her face quite yet. So, manico. I even gave you a mnemonic. You should be able to. Claudia, I'm looking at you. I still think Claudia's going to win it. All right, moving on. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram. You can find us on LinkedIn. If you're looking for a job, our heart goes out for you. Another 3 million people filed for unemployment today. So our hearts really go out to you. We hope this hour of music will leave you inspired, encouraged, and motivated to go crush your job search 3 times over. Also on Periscope. There's my Periscope, up Periscope, down Periscope, also on YouTube and Twitch. That's it. So if you want to be an artist on the show, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. We only have like 24 shows left. A lot of them are booked. But if you want to skip the line, there's only one way to skip the line. You have to be a client of Sandra and Camilo. That's right. There is special preferential treatment on this broadcast. I mean, why not, right? So you show some love to them, boom, on the show. All right, so that is that. And with that, this is an incredible. Let me. I don't think you should wear hats when you talk to such an august artist. So let's now get down to business. The best part of the show where we get to meet the incredible artist who's a virtuoso maestra, doctor of musical arts, DMA. I had to look that up. DMA, doctor of musical arts. And she really is a virtuoso. You're going to love, I know many of you know who she is already, but if you're meeting her for the first time, you're going to be blown away by her artistry, her capacity to use music as a tonic, a public health good. Please welcome to the broadcast the incredible Makiko Hirata.
Hi, Kabir.
Hi, good to see you.
Hi, so good to see you too. Thank you for having me on the show.
My pleasure. Tell me first, where are you broadcasting from?
Los Angeles. It's beautiful here today.
Is that the sun or is that your windows in
the sun? Yes. We have a stained glass. I'm afraid you're going to see some lights on my face.
I like that. Tell me, how has the quarantine affected you?
It's affected me in a very sort of profound way. So, I promote music as a healing agent. And I always said that communal experience of live music is the essence of musical experience, right? And so when we listen to music together, our heartbeats start synchronizing, even our brain waves, breathing, everything. And as social animals, we like that, right? And I was always warning people against the use of the music with the smartphone and the laptop and the earphones and the headphones as a wall against the rest of the world, you know? I thought it was very inhumane and unnatural. And so I was playing live, and I always said, you know, there will be a catastrophe with the climate change and social inequities, and that's when music will really exert its power. And I never pictured this to happen. Where I had to stay home, I couldn't play live, nobody will come to concerts for maybe 2 years, right? And so I really had a decision to make, whether to go, you know, virtual or not, right? Whether to use the online platform or not, because I didn't want to go back on my own words. But at the end, it was just an urge. I had to share my music, and so here I am. And
I'm glad you're here with us. You're obviously
in
Los Angeles. We have Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta, obviously. Our tech crew, our tech incredible team is based in Queens. Everyone who's watching, we want to know, where are you broadcasting from? Because we want to show the wonderful artist, Makiko, where her music is reverberating all around the world. We want to tell, and I know you want to know where people are watching too.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So let us drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from, your city, your state, your extra points for counties. Counties. One question we always like to ask is, how are you as a creative person yourself? What does the day look like for you in quarantine? How do you structure your days? Is it a daily walk? Is there, do you eat Cheerios every day? Like, what's the routine that you go through?
So that's the other thing. I've always been against routines. I thought it was mind-numbing. I thought it was bad for you. But now I have to follow a routine to remain productive, and because I felt myself really going down, like finding this difficult to deal with. So now I'm exercising more than ever in my entire life. I go out for a jog, I do stretch, I do like, like push-ups and all that. And then I practice and then, so my days look pretty consistent now.
Push-ups, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Nice, nice, nice. By the way, we have Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania, Montgomery County.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
See. Also have
Everyone.
Yeah, we also have Livingston, New Jersey, tuning in.
Livingston, yes. Jerry and Helene, I think.
Yeah. So we have, of course, we have some people in Mobile, Alabama, tuning in.
Oh my
So
gosh.
all over. What
Yeah.
would you like to begin your performance with tonight?
Okay, so I would like to begin this with what some of my audiences like to call breathing music. So I always make my performances more interactive and participatory, because that's how music really is more powerful and effective for you. And so I often start my program with this piece and ask the audience to breathe with it, breathe deeply, and just let yourself go. Enjoy. This is called Alien Harp by Chopin. It's an etude. Alien Harp is a harp that you don't play, but when air passes by, it just rings with the air. Okay, Alien Harp by Chopin.
All right. That was awesome.
Thank you.
That is taking this freaking show to the next level. You're setting the new bar of talent. So
No, I've heard many of your artists. They were so good.
I want everyone to show some love. We got Maxime in the house giving you.
Aw.
Everyone knows the drill. If you put it as an emoji, I will translate your emoji into real life. So here we go. Some applause. JJ says ferocious. Arr. Shambu says in heaven. We got some namaste going on.
Aw.
Some hearts. Hearts. And then we have some bravo. 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 I know it's super awkward, but you know what? What's not awkward is all the love and attention you're getting. People are just can your virtuosity and the emotional effect that you have when you play is just translating loud and clear.
Aw.
So thank you for that.
Thank
Um,
you.
I did want to ask you the album that I was listening to for most of today. Let's put it up on the screen. I want you to walk me through this album, the 100 Years album. Why did you make this album in particular? It takes so long to put projects together. What about this particular project motivated you to make it?
Yeah. So was in my doctorate degree, and when I was deeply in sort of the poem music, and Beethoven was a game changer in so many different ways. And it was interesting for me to see different.
I think we may be losing her.
Oh no! Can you hear me? Hello?
Sometime
Hello?
I think we lost you for a second.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, good. Okay. Can you see me?
I can see you. I can see you. I can see you.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, all right. So Brahms really struck a chord with me because he really struggled between the legacy of the Western classical music, what led up to Beethoven, and sort of the fighting against that elitism kind of and going folk. And in between these two traditions, he kind of makes his own way at the end of his life. So what we recorded, I played the very earliest Beethoven sonata, and then I played the very, very last work that Brahms wrote 100 years after the first piano sonata by Beethoven, and sort of showed what happened in between. And the Brahms is with a wonderful clarinetist. Her name is Maiko Sasaki, and we played his clarinet sonatas together. That was my project.
It's a beautiful project. I want everyone to go to Makiko's website. Let's get that up on the screen. Makiko's website, and also you need to subscribe to her stuff, her music on Spotify, and follow her on Instagram. Here it is, musicalmakiko.com, and it's just a portal into her incredible artistry. So everyone, bookmark it. So tell me now, just one more question about that album. And I do want to take some questions that are coming in. Where did you? As a producer, I want to know, where did you record it, and talk to me about the actual in the studio process.
Okay, so it was done in Houston in a recording studio, but my recording engineer, Joe Patridge, is in Bronx, and he's made all of my other 6 solo albums, and he's helped me quite a bit. For this setup, he was also calling in and asking me to take photos and fix this and fix that and replace the mics, and he's been one of my musical angels. But yeah, that was done in Houston. All my other albums have been done at Joe's studio.
Gotcha. Ruth in Phoenix, Arizona wants to know, when did you know that you wanted to be a professional artist, a professional musician? When was that moment you knew that was a career path for you?
There were many, many moments. One of them, I think. Let me tell you two. One is I saw an older gentleman in the audience once stand up to applaud after a piece. He was so excited, and then he fell because he forgot that he needed a cane to stand. And I thought that, like, what power is that? And then the other thing was March 11th, 2011, the earthquake and tsunami and the nuclear meltdown in Japan. And so I played a lot of charity concerts, and I went to the site, and I saw what music can do. Yeah, so I think, I mean, there are many, many moments at different points in my life, but those are two major ones.
Wow. Yeah, powerful moments and seminal watershed moments. It seems to be in your
Yeah.
career. What would you like to play for us next?
Okay. So let I made a list of the pieces that I could potentially play today, and I wanted to play more of the iconic pieces. So let me go with the Goldberg variations. Many people consider this to be the pinnacle of Western classical music, and I don't know if people are familiar with the concept of the music of the universe. It's so the ancient Greeks considered that everything that had motion had to have sound. And so the planets are moving, so they must be making sound, but this is a sound that is humming from the moment of our birth to the moment of our death. So we wouldn't hear it, right? Because it's a given, like it's like we can't see the air. But good music is the ones that resonate with this harmony of the spheres. And to me, this Goldberg variation, I'm only going to play the aria, unfortunately, because if I play the whole thing, it's more than an hour. But to me, this feels like the harmony of the spheres. So here it goes, aria from the Goldberg variations. Thank you.
Yeah. I want now. That's something I want to see everyone. There we go. Camila's gonna start us off. That is some. So good. So good. So beautiful. Maxime. Hearts. Really good. So um, beautiful. Megan was right. Megan was right. By the way, my friend Megan introduced us. She's watching right now. So
Oh,
hi, Megan.
Megan. Hi, Megan.
Um, tell me now about musical inspirations because Isaac wants to know. He's saying you have such a vast recording history and international recording fame. Who are some of the biggest artists that have shaped you to get to where you are right now in your career?
Really, I was very, very lucky. I was really privileged. It doesn't, for a person to cultivate a skill like this, so many people have to invest so much work into this person. And a lot of things have to line up just right. It's so hard for me to just name a few names, but one of the major influences on me was Mitsuko Uchida. She's a pianist, and so she's one of the Japanese pianists that emerged right after World War II, when things were still catastrophic, and there were lots of contentious feelings between the nations. And it's remarkable how many Japanese musicians succeeded in that climate. But Mitsuko Uchida was one of them, and she mentored me for some time. And she's a beautiful artist herself. She was very generous in her guidance with me.
That's nice. It's important to have that mentor relationship and have a mentor, especially in the music. I find that so unique in the music space because you actually work with someone and learn from someone directly. And sometimes folks in other fields don't. There's not that pupil master relationship, um, which is very important. I think in any artistic career to have that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree.
So a couple questions come. Balaji in New Delhi over on
Oh my
Instagram wants to know.
gosh.
He wants to know what kind of piano are you playing? Tell us about the piano.
Okay. So this is my baby. So this is a Steinway A that my parents bought for me when I first came to the States as a 13-year-old. And I've had it since. I was often not able to afford the space to house the piano, so it was often in storage for a long, long time. But now I'm lucky, especially in this quarantine, to have this piano where I live so that I can practice. My heart, I have to mention this. I'm so appreciative of you, Kabir, doing this to support the artists. But when I think of like younger students that are, aspiring musicians that are in quarantine without their instruments and things like that, and I know dancers, who don't have the proper flooring and things like this, I just, I don't know what to say, but I'm so lucky to have this here with me.
The piano's lucky to be played by you.
Thanks.
Shambu has a very interesting question. He says, when you perform, are you interpreting a composer's work or channeling that composer's spirit?
That's a great question. I'd like to think, I don't like the idea of like being a conduit, because that idea is very problematic in the Western classical music. But I'd like to think that there is such a thing as collective consciousness, and we can sort of go beyond time, and like I can be with the spirit of the composer and the spirits of the audience members, and sort of create this harmony between us that makes us feel things together.
Well said, and we certainly feel it. One thing that's really unique about you, and I mean to say this, you don't just play the music; you have like a philosophy. It seems, which is great. I mean, maybe all artists do it on one level, but you seem to articulate it in a way about using music as a tonic, as therapy, as a way to heal people. And I've seen that you are a consultant for a hospital in Houston. Talk a
Yep.
little bit about your work in that capacity?
Okay, thanks for asking me that question. So I work with neuroscientists to quantify the benefit of music. So people have always said since the ancient civilizations that music is healing. Healers and shamans use music, blah blah blah. But it was often thought of as like sort of a voodoo kind of, if you believe in it may work kind of. But now with the advancement of medical technologies, we can actually quantify as data how it works, how much it works, and why it works. And I really think that, you know, unfortunately, music and art right now is at the mercy of consumerism. But I think we need to reevaluate our roles in our society to be the healers and the shamans, and to sort of, you know, help help remind us that what we share is greater than our differences. I don't know.
That's no, that's well said. That's well said. So, when you're consulting with the good folks in Houston, what does that look like? What do they want to know from you?
Right. Okay. So music is a really hot topic in neuroscience right now, but not all the neuroscientists are trained musicians, right? Some of them are actually very impressive. But so I get to teach some of these researchers about music, or write the portion of their paper, like in journals and stuff, about the music. Or also, musicians' brains are a little different from non-musicians' brains, and this is one of the research interests. So I go into fMRI scans, and I wear EEG, like little things, and so they measure my brain to different stimuli, how it reacts to different stimuli differently from non-musicians' brains, and I get to participate that way as well.
So now we have medical proof that you are a genius. I didn't actually need the proof. I can hear it, but I'm glad that someone has taken money and expend. No, I'm glad that you're doing this. But you are a genius, and it's wonderful to see you play in this way. And I'm glad you're working in concert with neuroscientists. And I do want to ask more about this, but first, we'd love to hear another song.
Okay. Okay. So there are lots going on in the world right now, and we tend to not give ourselves the space to feel the feelings that we need to feel. But I think what music can do, one of the things that music can do, is to provide the space and the time to feel those feelings. And so right now, I'm going to play something that is a little bit sad. It's very, very famous as well. So it's Chopin's Prelude, number 4 in E minor, and everybody knows this, but I just want to say one thing. So this, you know it. This 2-note musical gesture, right? So in music, it often symbolizes sighs for obvious reasons, right? Or tears. And so just imagine that as you listen to this Chopin's Prelude.
Whew, that was beautiful. Might have goosebumps after that one. That was so beautiful, and I liked how you framed it about the breathing,
Yeah.
and so touching. Something we all need to hear now in what's really an international tragedy. And for a moment, I didn't quite forget the tragedy, but you took me to a place where it didn't sting so badly. You know, so I do want to pick up on this on this conversation on neuroscience just for a second because I find it fascinating. Um, what what's going on? The word is affect, right? Like emotional affect.
Mhm.
What's going on with music and emotional affect and emotions? So, what's happening in the brain when it's processing music, and how does emotion play into that?
Okay, very good question. I'm glad you asked. So it has a lot to do with orality, right? Our sense of hearing. So our sense of hearing is the quickest sense that we have. So yes, light is faster than sound, but that doesn't matter. Once the light hits our eyes, it takes us about zero point 0.2 seconds for our brain to process the information that comes from our eyes, right? Whereas for the ears, when the sound hits our eardrums, it takes our ears or our brain 0.025 seconds to process that sound. Why is that? Because the wiring is very, very simple. It skips the prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain that deals with logic and words, and it goes directly to amygdala, which is the part that deals with emotions, right? Why is that necessary? Because hearing is the sense that is most likely to save our lives from an imminent threat, right? We can only see things that we're looking at. We can't see to our back. Our eyes close, right? And we close our eyes when we go to sleep, but our hearing is always alert, right? 360 degrees, even when we are asleep. That's how alarm clocks work. And so that's why, because it's so tied to our survival instinct, Um, for example, elder patients with dementia, right? They may lose the ability to speak, but if you sing to them their childhood songs, they can often sing with you with the words because it's stored in this part that deals with emotions, right? And I mean, like I said earlier, it also regulates our heartbeats and breathing and brain waves and things like this. It works on our physiology in a much more primal way, apparently. And I think that's why it's beyond words, like literally. Like we can't think when we are really listening. Um, does that answer your
Hmm.
question?
It does very much so, and I think it's very insightful. What is the new areas or avenues of research for neuroscience and music that they're working on now that you think will lead to discoveries down the road?
So there are so many. You know, for people with brain damage and neurodiversity, like autism and things like this, but also like just in terms of our overall well-being, um, as individuals, obviously, you know, there will come a day, and I didn't say this actually. Todd Frazier, who is also my mentor, who is a director at the Houston Methodist Hospital's Center for Performing Arts Medicine, he told me one day, and it really resonated with me. People run on treadmills not because they enjoy it, but because they know that it's good for them, right? There will come a day when people will listen to music, not necessarily because they feel like it every day, but because they know it's good for their brains. And I believe this to be true. Um, and so, you know, NIH is, I think it has $20 million, I think, to throw at the different researches done on music and neuroscience. WHO in Europe just came up with an extensive report on how music and art is really indeed effective, you know, for our overall well-being. And so I can't even say like this is the, you know, latest because there's so many.
Got it. Well, we look forward to learning about it. I'm sure you're going to be at the nexus of this music and neuroscience, and it's really a fascinating field. Tell us what you will play. What you will play next.
Okay, so I played really famous things up till now, but now I'm going to play a composer that you'll probably never have heard of. His name is Federico Monpo. He was a Catalan composer in the 20th century, studied in Paris, and he wrote a piece called On a Drop of Water. So, I did this, right? So his melody for this piece starts with this sigh or tear motif, right? And he wrote a melody like this. So there's a tear, and then it goes up like it's evaporating. And then, but there's a tear again, right? And he gives it to 3 different voices. And then he juxtaposes them in a canon. And he's creating a ripple. And I played this piece many, many times. But I've had some friends pass recently, and I've been playing it. And now I feel like maybe this is us, like our lives. Sometimes it may feel so inconsequential, like
Did we lose her? I think maybe we lost her. She was saying something very important and profound, and that's what happens on a live broadcast. Sometimes, folks, we sometimes lose folks. But what we didn't lose was what she was trying to say. Sometimes we're all going through rough patches. We're all going through rough periods, and music certainly is the tonic that we need in troubled times. And especially during this broadcast, it's important to. I think she's frozen. There she is. We need to get a de-icer. That's the next thing we need to get, a de-icer to defrost people. And so this is the part of the broadcast where I have to kill time. And Camilo works a special magic, whether through calling the artist, that's one thing we've learned. Always get the phone number of the artist so we can chase them down, and try to get them back on the show. But I hope you'll stay with us because we do want her to play this piece. One thing great about what she was saying, though, about neuroscience and music, I've had to take a look at neuroscience and economics. Not as interesting, but decisions are manifest at the subconscious level, and before we're aware of our decision, we've already made our decision. I mean, neuroscientists could take brain scans and see what stock you want to buy before you choose the stock, or what song you want to listen to. And there was a study at Emory University where they scanned the brains of teenagers, and they wanted to ask teenagers about what pop songs they may like. And based on the brain activity on the brain scans, on these fMRI scans, they were able to predict what pop songs would resonate well with teenagers, which is kind of scary if you think about it. But it also makes sense. Really elicit neural activation is what's going to drive people. And so that's me ad-libbing on neuroscience and music, and that's all I can do. But we do want to welcome back, if she's able, Makiko. Are you still there, or are you frozen? We hear you, but the sound signal's all kind of messed up. So I think that may be it. He dropped from. We'll shut down Instagram for now, but let's do one thing. Let's get Makiko's website back up on the screen. Let's get back up on the screen. And there it is, musicalmakiko.com. I want everyone to go check out Makiko Hirata.com. I also let's get her albums up on the screen so we can talk you through them. There's the Chopin to Japan. Obviously, she played a Chopin selection earlier. My favorite piece on this is the first one, of course, A2 number 1, an A flat major, Opus 25, Aeolian harp. That's what was her opening set. Please do make it a point to listen to this. This is this music that will heal you, I promise you. The next album, let's just walk through her repertoire. This is the Hammer Clavier, Makiko Hirata pianist. Also, a wonderful, wonderful repertoire on this. You can actually go to her website at musicalmakiko.com and see what her repertoire is. There it is, Sonata in D minor. I recommend here, if you're going to listen to one, listen to the Dichotomy 2000, track number 7. My favorite number on this. Let's get our next album up there. Goldberg Variations, Johann Sebastian Bach, Makiko Hirata, pianist. This is one she played. She called it the pinnacle of music, composition and performance, piano composition and performance. Check out this one. I have not heard this one yet. It's hard for me to listen to all the albums before the artist comes on. And of course, her more recent creation, 100 Years, early Beethoven and late Brahms, Beethoven Sonata for piano, Opus 2 through 1, and Brahms. Matima is actually a duo she plays with, and she's part of it. So you won't find it under her name. You'll have to type in Matima into Spotify to find the music. All right. Does anyone know what the word of the day is? What is the word of the day? Drop a comment, and you will get the puppy trophy. Tell me what the word of the day is while we're awaiting Makiko to hopefully return. And actually, I should say, this is in 76 shows. This is only the second time we've lost an artist. Second. The first one was an artist in Australia, and we've learned to discriminate. I'm all about treating people equally, but if you're in Australia, the connections don't seem to be that great, so it's hard to book artists from Australia. Here's another project. A2's Are You Seriously? A2 Seriously? Brutus? A2? Makiko Hirata, pianist. All great projects. I think the Goldberg Variations is the one, and the Chopin one is the one to check out if you are opining. And I think she may be back. Makiko back? Are you back?
I'm just back with the sound.
Okay. So
just
maybe
to try to save the data. Maybe that's the problem. Do you want me to play the Monpo or?
Why don't you play and we'll put some pictures up on the screen. And,
sounds good. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, thanks. Here's Monpo. Hi. Thank you.
Yeah. Brava.
Thank you
Brava.
so much.
I think you can turn on your
Camera?
camera now.
Okay.
Step into the light. Step into the light.
Okay. カメラつけてくれる?
There we go.
Yeah.
Arigatou
Hi.
gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. So,
ありがとうございます.
I do want to say that we ask our audience members what trophy we should present to you. And you are now the current holder and the defending champion of a very important honor on the Quarantine Concert Series. Let's present to Makiko Hirata-san the Penguin Trophy, everyone.
All right.
Yes. That's one of the highest honors that we have here. So you're welcome to make a speech if you like.
No, I spoke too much today.
But seriously, congratulations on this well-deserved honor. The audience, see, Dawn was all about give her the penguin, so we're giving you the penguin. Really, really beautiful. Look at all the applause coming in. We do have a word of the day winner as well. Stephanie, where's Stephanie? Somewhere Stephanie. Stephanie Ribeiro has won the word of the day. So let's just put that up on the screen, Sandra, and present the trophy puppy to Stephanie Ribeiro. Congratulations. You are now the holder of Maniko. Yay! Everyone gets a trophy on the Quarantine Concert Series. So for keeping track at home, Makiko is the holder of the Penguin Trophy, and Stephanie is the holder of the Puppy Trophy. What's not to like about that? All right. We kind of caught what you said before the intermittentness, but I want to thank you for your incredible artistry. Everyone at home, she's also working on a book. Tell us a little bit about the book real quick.
Okay, so it is relevant more than ever, I think, but it is called Why Piano Now? And it is about music as a practice, something that you do, something that you proactively engage yourself with regularly to enhance your well-being, sense of happiness and physical well-being, and also just, so that we get along better. Music helps us produce more of the love hormones, the so-called love hormones, oxytocin. And I think we could use it right now.
I'm pro love and pro oxytocin.
Yay.
So let's love hormone. I'm pro love hormones. All right, cool. So thanks so much for being on the broadcast. We really, really.
Thank you so much, Kabir.
Yeah, we appreciate you and your artistry. And thanks, Megan, for hooking this up.
Thank you, Megan.
Big hug to Megan.
Yes.
All right. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Soundworks Recording, the incredible tech that helps produce these shows. So let's say thanks to Sandra and Camilo. And if you're an artist at home or need any mixing and mastering music services, go to soundworksrecording.com. And they are very kind, polite, happy, and hygienic people. And I think that if you mention one of their 2 dogs or your Maui, you will get a discount. You can also schedule time to go into the studio and just be with the dogs. It is $5 per minute to be with them. They're in big demand. You can pay by PayPal or ACH or debit card or any form of payment. No bartering, though. No bartering. Okay? Cash or coin. That's it for tonight. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We have a great show planned tomorrow. They're all great shows. Show number 77, and then we go fishing and end this concert series. Show number 77, Vincente Avella, great piano player, and he's going to take it in a different direction. And this weekend, we have incredible artists, multi-instrumentalists joining us. So thank you for joining. Everyone stay home if you can, and have a wonderful night.